afternoon, Outliers. How y'all doing today? Glad to see you. Dave is here. Hey, Dave, how's it going, buddy? Um, Man, I had a huge weekend. So Thursday afternoon, so the room I work in our house, I call the library. Um, this is a green screen. I don't know if you knew this. And I spent basically from Thursday until yesterday totally redoing the library. I completely put up brand new shelves, painted the room all dark and spooky. I got Scrooge McDuck hung up on the wall with a nice illumination over it. So I'm not 100% done. There's a couple things from Amazon I'm still waiting that should show up today. Then I'll show you guys some before and afters. I really approve of it. I recently came across the dark academia aesthetic, and I was like, ooh, that speaks to me. So I definitely spent a little bit too much money and a little bit too much time redoing the library. And I think it's great. So anyway, hope you all had a great weekend. David says it's going well. Donna, I'm so glad you're back on. Happy Monday to you, Michael. I tell you what, I saw some crazy stuff happening in Britain. So I know some of our regular viewers are British, so please, if you feel comfortable sharing, join and let us know what you're seeing out there. But just this past summer, I was in Britain. We flew into where are we flying to? We flew into Edinburgh, drove down to Alnwick, which I don't understand how the British people. The word is spelled Alnwick, Alnwick, and they call it Alnwick. You literally live where the Queen's English is from, and you can't pronounce the word the way it's written. Anyway, boggle my mind. So we drove down there. So we went to Scotland, and then we went to England for a hot minute, and then spent most of our time in Scotland and flew over to Ireland and then back. So I'm really glad that I'm not there right now while all this is going on, because I don't think I'd be very comfortable with me, my wife, and my two little boys running around while there's all these riots going on. But I found this video. It says Nigel Farage says this poses the biggest threat to free speech we've seen in UK history. Now, full disclosure, I'm American. I'm as American as it comes. However, my mom on her side is ultra British, and a lot of her family members are directly from Britain. And her dad, I love telling this story because it's so ironic, right? We talk about the border all the time. My father on my mother's side is actually an illegal immigrant from Canada. I just think that's hilarious. But anyway, so while I probably do have some family that's being dealing with this situation, I'm just really glad that I'm not there personally. So I want to jump into this and hear what they have to say.
And I think that's clear from the prosecutions and sentencing. Today we're due sentencing for online behaviour. That's a reminder to everyone that whether you're directly involved or whether you're remotely involved, you're culpable and you will be put before the courts if you've broken the law. I do agree that we're going to have to look more broadly at social media after this disorder.
Well, I know this guy was just recently voted in. I don't know anything about him. I don't even know his name. But I mean, just the censorship police? Is that what they're going after here?
A warning by UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer that social media users who post or share footage of the riots that have been taking place across the United Kingdom face arrest and prosecution, regardless of it.
What? If you post or share footage of the riots, you can be arrested? Good thing I live in Britain.
Intent. The civil unrest began after 3 girls, ages 6 to 9 years old, were stabbed to death during a Taylor Swift-themed dance event in northwestern England. Police charged a 17-year-old born in Wales with the murders. His parents were originally from Rwanda, but erroneous posts on social media claimed the suspect was an illegal immigrant. Joining me now in the Sunday Morning Futures exclusive is the leader of Reform UK Party, Nigel Farage. Leader Farage, thank you so much for being here this morning.
Thank you. Thank you.
I want to get your take on this violent disorder sweeping across several British cities over the weekend and this new order to prosecute anybody who is posting about it. Can you walk us through what's going on?
That bothers me. Bothers me a lot. Like I say, I don't have a dog in this fight, but I'm interested in what's going on over there. You can get in trouble for posting videos about the news. Please tell me in the chat, who was it recently? Or where was it recently where it was something similar to that, right? It was I literally can't remember off the top of my head, but I'd heard about somewhere where they were like having total censorship. Do not post this or you will go to jail. Don't mind the protesters doing their things. Don't mind the criminals doing their things, right? Killing people or whatever. If you share this, you are now the criminal and you're going to jail. At least that's what I'm understanding. 1984 much? Yeah, Michael.
Yeah, I mean, two things. Firstly, the violent disorder. We've got terrible division in our cities. We've got parts of our inner city now that have become completely Muslim dominated. And that has led to a lot of British people saying, what the hell's going on? Our country is changing fundamentally. We've had successive general elections in which the Conservatives, following Labour, promised to reduce immigration numbers, yet we saw them double and then quadruple to record numbers. We have a border crisis like you of these boats coming across the English Channel. So underneath all of this, yes, you've got Muslim extremists, you've got some far right, yobs, violent people who look for an excuse. But behind it is a growing sense of unease in our country that we're losing our identity. And that is what led to that explosion of violence the other day. Now, this is the most serious violence we've had since the Black Lives Matter protests in the wake, of course, of the murder of George Floyd back in 2020. Funny enough, Sir Keir Starmer, our Prime Minister, at the time of the Black Lives Matter riots, when police were being injured, when historical monuments were being torn down, he chose to take the knee in solidarity with the aims of those who were out doing the protest.
Well, that's because back in 2020, if you had political viewpoints like myself, and you watching this probably do, it was a cancelable offense. It was you were no longer allowed to be on the internet. The stuff that I've been saying over the last few weeks with the presidential election would have literally got me canceled from the internet. OVTLYR's business assets frozen. It would have had far-reaching effects just for having an opinion. And I'm very grateful that we're past that point where woke has jumped the ship, where we actually have more free speech than we did just a few years ago. And maybe that's going to happen in Britain soon.
And causing the violence. But now the boot's on the other foot. Now it seems to be white, working class British people that are protesting. And by the way, I'm not defending violence in any way at all. No, now he wants to take control of the narrative. Now look, nobody should use any social media platform to genuinely spread hate or incitement to violence. And that free speech rule, I think all of us would support and agree with. But what we are allowed to do on social media, or should be allowed to do, is to speculate, is to ask questions, is to try and put facts out, that wake up the rest of the community. And when you're engaged in something like that, you can never ever guarantee that what you say is 100% true. You may think it's true at the time. You may ask a question whether it's true. Now, Starmer, by cracking down on that, poses, I think, the biggest threat to free speech we've seen in our history. And Elon Musk has caught wind of this. He said, I think the reason Musk has been going for Starmer over the last week is he knows.
Okay, I just saw this thing at the bottom here. 55-year-old woman arrested for posting on social media inaccurate information about the suspect. That's an arrestable offense, posting inaccurate information about a suspect. Whew.
What the reaction is going to be. And can I just add, worse still, there is a proposal today that from the age of 5 years old, our kids in schools should be taught to spot extremism, to spot fake news and misinformation, and to use their powers of critical thinking to work out what's true and what's not. Now, by the way, I believe in critical thinking. However, if the parameters that are set are to say to every kid, if you read a post that questions net zero and global warming, it will be extreme content and a lie.
Oh, Michael, isn't that exactly part of 1984? I read it, or I listened to an audiobook like about 18 months ago. Wasn't that part of it where they got the children to basically narc on their parents, right? The conversations in the home. That's what they're teaching the British children now? Bruh.
If you read a post that even dares to question levels of immigration, legal or illegal, into Britain, that's extremist, then you start to set a narrative for a future generation that is fundamentally undemocratic. So I am very worried that the instincts of a left-wing Labour Party are to use this crisis to take away our liberties and our free speech. And this is going to have to be fought.
Yeah, exactly. And this is why I think this is incredibly dangerous. And it reminds me of what was happening here in America right after the 2020 election, where people were speculating and asking questions. If you are afraid that you're going to get arrested just because you're asking questions, well, your freedom of speech is gone. Nigel, let me ask you, for you personally, are you concerned?
Yeah, and that's what I was meaning by a couple minutes ago. It's like what we talk about here on a daily basis was, honest to goodness, considered hate speech. Hate speech to just have a conservative viewpoint. Look how far we've come. Michael says, so the book was 40 years too early. This is disgusting.
That any statements you make could get you arrested?
Yes, I mean, after the triple murder of those poor, sweet little girls, a few hours went by, and there was huge speculation online about this man. Was he an illegal immigrant? Was he an Islamist? And no one knew the truth. And I simply asked on X, did this man have a record? Is he somebody that the security services were watching? Answer there came none. Then after the riots happened, you've got the whole establishment saying that I encouraged rioting. Well, I mean, all I did was to say, please tell us the truth. Funnily enough, if they had told us the truth, the rioting would not have been anything like as bad as it was, and the authorities need to wake up to an online world. So, yes, I am currently coming under a serious assault, and many of the campaigners on the left are publicly saying that I should be arrested simply for asking to know the truth about the murderer.
So, they're calling for him to be arrested because he wants to know the truth. They want him arrested for asking about the truth. Oh, the UK has fallen. The UK has fallen. This is too heavy for today.
I'm worried.
Yes, and that is why Elon Musk tweeted out, "You're blocked from X." I mean, I don't know if it was the proper handle that he put on there. He said to the UK government, "You're blocked because we have our own rules here on X." And, you know, in America, we saw this take place after COVID. A lot of people questioned whether or not they wanted to get the vaccine, and the left comes out with these pejoratives, and suddenly you're canceled or you're...
Oh, man. Okay. Vaccine time. I was online during all of that, so you could go back and watch all my live streams and whatnot. But that was such a tiptoe topic, right? I found out very quickly, even saying the word COVID would shut the video down. I mean, I had videos that were like wiped from the internet because I talked about COVID. And, you know, as far as like vaccines go, the fact that they were requiring people to get a vaccine to keep their job, to keep food on the table, to keep the roof over their head, under penalty of losing your job, of being banished from the military, is one of the most un-American periods of time I've ever seen. If Trump wants a campaign, just campaign on, hey, remember how awful things were in 2021 and 2022 when you were having to show your vaccine card to walk into a restaurant, when you were you know, basically extorted into getting a vaccine. Like, it was unbelievable. It's crazy. Michael still said, I still see job postings that require proof of COVID vaccinations. Whoa. This is crazy.
Are ridiculed in the public square if you know you're an anti-vaxxer, you're an election denier, these pejoratives, and all of a sudden you are shamed on the public square. This is very dangerous. Where is this going in the UK?
Yeah, and I mean, Facebook are far worse. I mean, a lot of people, I'll put posts out on Facebook, factual posts about information I've discovered about, for example, the numbers crossing the English Channel by small boat, and people who like my Facebook posts get their accounts suspended. So it's quite sinister, the way in which it's happening. And the big one for us was lockdown. You know, 3 times we had a...
Wait, just liking the post gets you in trouble with the government? Holy cow.
National lockdown due to COVID. And I have to tell you, by lockdowns 2 and 3, I was absolutely contemptuous of the whole thing. And I was saying, hey, look at what Florida are doing. Look at what Sweden are doing. But literally... Okay, on a different topic. So my wife, she works in the school where my son goes to school. Both of my sons at that point were at the school where she works at.
And we were the first school to open back up in the state of Texas. And it was such a big deal. It was so I remember it was spring break of 2020. They sent everybody home basically for the rest of the year. And then that fall, our school district was the first school district to open up. And I remember there were helicopters buzzing around, and it was such a big thing. Like, I can't believe they're letting all these children go back to school. How awful of them. They're going to cause all these problems. And boy, am I so grateful to live in the great state of Texas. Because I mean, there's still, like Michael was saying, there's still places that are asking for COVID vaccinations.
If you question lockdowns, if you say this is government taking excessive freedoms from us, you would find your Facebook account suspended for a period of time. And that's the problem here.
Yeah.
You know, we may be talking in the wake of some pretty ugly, violent riots. But if that is used as an excuse for government and big social media companies to close down debates that they find inconvenient, then what price democracy?
Hey, Sean Hannity here.
Man, this is so weird, right? Because when we think of, or at least when I think of the UK, I think of very similar setups as the United States. Like, legitimately, it's kind of like Canada, right? Where you look at the UK, you look at Canada, and you're like, oh yeah, they're basically like America Light, like Diet America, you know? But I mean, they're not. They're not just not a little bit, but like they're not a lot. They can be extremely different, and to have this sort of reaction really scares me. So I wanted to take a look at Google. I want to take a look at Google because, from what I understand, Google is completely censoring what's going on over in the UK. And in fact, this video may get completely blocked. I don't know. But taking a look at this, right? On June 27th, we had a buy signal around 186. And then June 15th, we had a buy signal or sell signal around 188. So a couple bucks up on that. But since then, since July 15th, it has been total devastation on Google, right? It went from 188 to around 165, right? 13 bucks just wiped off in the span of a couple of weeks. So this is really important to, in fact, let's go look at the chart. It's really important to continue. Oh my gosh, look at that. It's even worse. Where was that sell signal? July 15th. That's here. No, my math must have been way off. 30 bucks. Whoa. 16% sell-off here. Brian, glad to see you. 16% sell-off here since that sell signal. And that's why, you know what, even if you're not like super active right now, like I say, I'm sitting on the sidelines right now. I don't see what I need to see to get in. You still need to be checking into your OVTLYR account to see where these buy and sell signals are coming through. Because if you happen to be holding Google, like maybe a long-term holding, you're probably not very happy right now. And the performance summary shows Google having a 90% return following its OVTLYR signals. So definitely stick on top of that and make sure you log into your OVTLYR account. Let's jump into our market analysis. All right, welcome to the OVTLYR trading room. This is smart trading made simple. Save time, make money, start winning with less risk. Now that's what I like to call profit hacking. And you can get the playbook over at profithackingplaybook.com or inside of our Discord in the VIP members area. Now, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Christopher Uhl. I've twice been awarded top 100 people in finance. I've been successfully trading since 2009. I'm a partner with OVTLYR, and this is my style of trading using the OVTLYR data. And I call this the golden ticket trading strategy. It's the 8 steps to turn profit hacking into pure gold. And hey, double check real quick while you're watching this. Are you subscribed? Just making sure. I don't want you to miss out because we go live every single day. Now, the master key to the golden ticket trading strategy is a 3-step system here. The SPY signal, the market breadth, and the sector breadth. Now, the SPY signal has kept me out of going short. The market breadth has kept me out of going long. And I've been sitting on the sidelines for a while. I don't even have to look at sector breadth because I don't have a stock in mind. This is so important. And talking to Mahesh over the last couple of days, the most recent buy signal reminded me a lot of the one we saw in October. Let me go back to October's buy signal real quick, because let me go back a little further. Yeah. So in October, we got a buy signal on the SPY. And you can go back to the live streams and you can hear me talk all about it, because I was saying, I don't trust this buy signal whatsoever. In fact, I kind of like laid into Mahesh and I'm like, this is a terrible buy signal. Why did we get a buy signal right here? And it sold off and it sold off and it sold off. In fact, let's go to the SPY during that time. Oh, we had some like big old meetings about this buy signal here. And I'm like, this is not a great signal. October 13th. Gotta go back for this one. October 13th. There. The market sold off hard and fast right after that. About 20 bucks on the SPY, nearly 5%. And then it recovered, and it covered hella strong. And that was actually a tremendous buy signal. In fact, that went from 431, it went down, and then came back up and out at 456 on December 4th. We go December 4th here. So it actually ended up 5.8% after going down 4.8%. And so this reminds me a lot of that, this buy signal right now. And I think we have seen the bottom, right? I know, I'm changing my prediction. You know what's great about trading? Is that you're allowed to do that. It doesn't have to be set in stone. For anybody who says you have to make sure the number one thing you do is always be right in trading, they don't know what they're talking about. I am actually getting more and more bullish. Hear me out. We've got an incredible amount of support down here, which is the number one reason I said watch for a face ripping rally, which is exactly what we got here. I think the temporary low could be in. I honestly think we could be heading for new highs. One of the reasons I'm thinking that is the market breadth. It's really like it's bottomed out. It's not getting lower, or if it is getting lower, it's very, very minuscule. I would say that it's flattening out and due for a curve here in a minute, which is going to be crazy, because that means I'll actually be bullish with the SPY signal, bullish on market breadth. And then once these moving averages cross over, I'm ready to go bullish again, like just that quick. But nobody says you have to trade every day. And that's why it's so important to have a plan, right? That's why I'm glad you tune in every day to make sure you know what the market's going. Brian says, it's not a great signal, but it is reflecting people's sentiments, which is showing people are not rational. You can do that, but Kalarma cannot. I can change my mind, but Kalarma cannot, right? Like no tax on tips. How she's now the border hawk. Yeah, we didn't cover any of that today. But yeah, I am absolutely getting more and more bullish at this point. And I think I'm not saying how fast this is going to happen, but I think over the next week or so, we could see a lot more constructive movement up here. And then I'll be ready to go long, probably by the end of this week, maybe early next week. All the moving averages should cross over. Market breadth could potentially cross over. And the SPY signal still is in the buy zone. So while I'm not trading today, because I don't have the master key set up yet, I've changed my tune. And that's okay. Keep in mind with trading, you're going to be wrong. You need to be okay with that. If you're not okay with being wrong, shouldn't be trading. Definitely shouldn't be trading. I did get notification from Mahesh that the updates, we've got a huge update being pushed through later this week. Wednesday is the plan for that. When we do, we should have a really cool new feature over here called the market scanner, which is going to be awesome, right? It's going to basically allow you to put in whatever criteria you want. It's going to save us here in the trading room a ton of time, because I can put in a positive back test, buy signals, green overlays, at least $20, at least 1 million shares, average daily volume. It's going to allow us to save a ton of time. So that hopefully should be pushed in by Wednesday. So be sure you log in and check every day to see if it's updated. And I definitely will be using it as soon as it gets updated. So before we go real quick, let's check out a couple names I saw on the buy list today. If you have to buy something, right? BMRN. This one looked pretty cool. I took a quick look at it. It's trending upward. It's in a green overlay right now. It's a pharmaceutical stock in the healthcare sector. Performance summary shows 44% versus buy and hold only at 5.4%. So that seemed like a really solid signal right here. Like I say, I'm not trading anything right now, but definitely something that piqued my interest. And then cyber. Have you guys seen the, hang on, we're not going to cover this. I think I know tomorrow's video. Have you seen the whistling diesel destruction of the Cybertruck? Hang on. I watched this earlier and I was like, oh my gosh. I sent it to my dad. My dad loves the Cybertrucks too. He thinks they're so cool. And so do my kid.
Are Cybertrucks as durable as Elon says they are?
Is one of the coolest things. This video, maybe we should cover this tomorrow. Dude just like destroys the Cybertruck. I mean, let's go real quick. Where's the beginning here? I mean, you can see within like 10 seconds just how tough of a test this is going to be. So he got a Cybertruck and then an F-150. And watch this. Like, they just drive it off the truck. Like, this is not going to be a joke kind of test here. And then they get the F-150. Watch this. This really cracked me up as a Tesla owner. Yeah. He's already broken the F-150. Like, the drive shaft is totally ruined. So yeah, this was a crazy video. If you want to Google it up, it's called Whistling Diesel Cybertruck Durability Test #1. Highly recommend, and I might just cover that tomorrow. Brian asks, can Mahesh add intraday alerts? I don't know. I had a conversation with them last week, and I was like, we need better email alerts, because the email alerts, if you haven't seen one yet, it says like spy alert, right, or Tesla alert, or whatever it is, alert, but it doesn't say what kind of alert. It doesn't say buy signal. It doesn't say green overlay or red overlay, right? It just basically prompts you to go look at OVTLYR, which honestly is what they want you to do. They want you to see, hey, there's an alert. Click the link so you go into the platform so you can see what's going on, so you can actually have more data, more information than just buy, sell. And so I totally understood where he was coming from with that after you explained it to me. It's like, we want people to go into the platform and see what's going on, not just blindly take the buy, sell signal. Brian says, repeat the B stock again, please. Oh, you got it, my friend. It was BMRN, Biomarine Pharmaceuticals, Inc. BMRN. Sounds like Brian's got a hole in his pocket. That's what my dad used to say when I couldn't hang on to my money. All right, that's going to wrap it for today. Thank y'all so much for coming. Boy, I got to tell you what, I'm proud to be an American, especially when I hear all the stuff that's going on over in the UK. So I'll see you right back here tomorrow. Have a great afternoon. We'll talk soon.